Hey folks, this is Dean from Regular Guy Mountain Biking, where we talk about all kinds of fun and cool things that have to do with mountain bikes. In this video, we're going to be talking about and installing the Eagle GX, correct?
Correct.
We got the Eagle GX. I got the Eagle GX from Jeff and from SRAM. They were cool enough to hook us up.
Yep.
And besides, just kind of because they're being really nice, it's a really great grupo for the regular guy.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Jeff and I did a great video on why, price point. We're up in Ringwood. We put the whole thing together, so I'm going to put a link to that right over here. So if you want to learn more about why we think it's a great grupo for the regular guy, you can go and watch that video. What we're going to do first is Jeff's going to show me how to break down the bike to get the existing 11-speed off.
Yep.
Right? And then we'll take it from there. Okay?
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay, so stay tuned. Right? We'll do that, and we'll take this part and have some fun.
The first thing we needed to do was remove the chain. We used a Park tool to break open the SRAM Master Link. You may have to use a pin tool, a chain breaker tool, to knock out one of the pins on the chain. You're probably going to be tossing the chain, so don't worry about it. Just get that chain off. Next up were the cranks. Jeff took out a Allen wrench and took off the cranks. It was simply just loosening up this one bolt, and they pretty much just slid right off. Once you get the non-drive side off, you can pull off the drive side without a problem. There are a few seals. You're going to want to keep them to the side. Don't lose them, because you're going to want to put those back on when you replace, or rather install your new cranks. After removing the cranks, Jeff removed my rear tire, rear wheel. Not really a big deal over here. I'm sure you've done this in the past. Just remember, with the rear wheel off, you don't want to touch that rear brake. Right? You don't want to go mess around with the caliper back there. Removing the cassette is next. Look, I'm not going to tell you have to go out and buy a ton of tools, but there's some tools you're just going to have. You need a chain whip, and you need the proper tools to remove the rear cassette. I'll have links to all the tools below, and you can decide which ones you want to get. Removing your rear derailleur is pretty straightforward. Just cut off the old cable, because you're probably going to want to replace that, and then it's just one Allen key and you're good to go. We took a look at the housing on my bike. It was kind of rusty and gross, so that's going to get replaced as well. Next up, we removed the rear shifter. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Just take that off and put it to the side. With everything removed, it was time to install the rear cassette. So Jeff applied a little bit of grease to the rear hub, took out the rear cassette, and slid it onto my XT driver based hub. Remember, you do need an XT driver type hub. Ask some questions in the comments if you're not sure what that means. Again, there are some tools you're going to need. This is the proper tool to put cassette back on. Jeff is certainly a much better mechanic than I am, and he actually does use a torque wrench when it is required. Replacing the cranks were pretty easy. Apply a little bit of grease on the bottom bracket, slide the cranks back in. They're already pre-built and set up. There's nothing really to even do. The ring is actually already on it. And then you're going to go over to the non-drive side and add that crank, tighten up the Allen key, the bolt with the Allen key, and you're good to go. Once that's all done, take out the torque wrench and properly torque this to spec. Now it was time to install the rear derailleur back into the rear derailleur hanger. Pretty simple. Next, Jeff grabbed the rear wheel and simply installed that back on the bike again. Next, Jeff installed the shifter, which actually integrates directly into my brake lever. SRAM's got a pretty cool integrated system like that. Though replacing the cable housing is not actually required, we decided to do it anyway because the housing was just pretty gross. Plus, I wanted to include this video because Jeff has all these really cool tools, and this was some Park product that allows you to run the cable housing inside of the frame and helps you do that. You kind of attach this little cable to your housing. It pulls it back in and out. It just works so darn good. I wanted to include it in the video. I mean, it really was a lot easier to do this than I thought it was going to be because of this tool. So I wanted to add this because I thought it might help one of you folks when you go and do this on your bikes. Again, not required, but what the heck, if you're going to do everything, then might as well go for it. This really worked quite well. The new chain has an actual special master link. You need to use the 12-speed master link. The 11-speed is just not going to cut it. So after sizing the chain, which I do have a video that teaches you how to properly size a chain, I'll link to that right above. We went and installed the chain, used the master link, and then Jeff showed me this cool way of lining it up and giving a little lock in there and locking the chain. Now it was time to tune the rear derailleur. The first thing Jeff set up was the set screw for how the derailleur would line up to the higher gears, okay, the gears that are the smallest on the cassette. After that, he did some shifting and went all the way up to the lower gears, the biggest ones on the cassette. Notice how it kind of fell into the spokes. That's because that limit screw was not set properly. So Jeff set up that limit screw right after he adjusted the height of the rear derailleur. The whole tune-up kit comes with this really neat little red tool that helps you adjust the height of the rear derailleur. So that came in really handy. Next up, like I said, he went and set that limit screw so that the chain wouldn't fall into the spokes, and did a little bit more shifting and a little bit more testing to make sure everything was in the right place. To learn more how to adjust your rear derailleur, check out the link I have above. I've got a video that goes into great detail on how to set up your rear derailleur.
All right, folks, we're all set. We've got the GX Eagle installed. All right, it's shifting good. I'll be riding it really soon, and I'll give you a full review on how it feels, and it's gonna feel awesome. I mean, just taking a look at the range,
yep,
it's gonna definitely help me on the hills,
oh, yeah,
which I need, and everything like that. Right? I mean, what else, is there anything else I should be looking to notice on this setup other than just
you're gonna notice the simplicity, the range, and also probably it's gonna be a whole lot quieter.
Really? Oh, okay,
that was
cool.
One of the first things I noticed when I rode Eagle was how quiet the drivetrain was. So now you're really just honing in on listening to your tires contact the ground, which is a totally different experience. Yeah. It's cool. It's very cool.
I want to thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Remember, folks, SRAM and Jeff from SRAM, they hooked us up with this specifically because we want to show that this is a great grupo for the regular guy. The price point, what you get out of the whole kit. Check the video that Jeff and I did on this to learn more about it. And other than that, right, give us some comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel. Keep the party on the pedals, my friends, and we'll catch you later on. Thanks again, my friend. Bye-bye.